Are we good? Oh, hey. Hi, welcome to Facebook Live. Welcome to Cooper. I'm Josh, and this is Josie. We are dietitians over at Cooper Bariatrics. Thank you for joining us. Today we are going to do a cauliflower crusted pizza.
Yes, we are.
With multiple toppings.
Including an array of spices.
Yes.
And some fresh ingredients that we chopped up just for you.
Right. So, what's the difference between a cauliflower crust and what's the point of doing a cauliflower crust? What's the benefit to it? So a traditional pizza crust will have flour, yeast, sugar, oil, and water. So I have more calories than a cauliflower crust, which has cauliflower, low-fat, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan, and an egg. So it's more fiber and a lot less calories.
Big difference.
It is.
In terms of ingredients. I mean,
Right.
I like anything where you just put cheese all in it. So this really works in terms of my diet taste. I did not select the topic, though you would think that. Also, this would work if you're following a gluten-free diet too, because we're not really
Not using any flour.
Any flour.
No. So it's gonna be low calories. Each one's probably around like 120 calories per mini pizza that we're gonna make. We have a bunch of different toppings, so we're gonna make a bunch of different pizzas to get started.
And the pizzas can vary a lot in calories because it'll just depend on what you put on it. Some of these you might want to just load up with veggies and keep it low calorie. Other ones you want to make a meat lover, so you could do something like that as well.
Correct. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is make our cauliflower crust. Good thing about making it, you can make it ahead of time. So we're thinking of making mini pizzas, so it's great like if you're having a party or having like cocktails or something like that, and you want to do maybe mini cauliflower crust pizzas instead of like flatbreads or whatever. So you can make them ahead of time, make them a couple hours or the day before. So what it is 5 to 6 cups of chopped up raw cauliflower. So you get a head of cauliflower, you can take off all the stems, you can take it apart, chop it up, and then put it in a food processor and blend it until it looks like a rice texture. Or
you can just go easy.
Or you can go easy, and you can use a bag. So cauliflower, everything is like a trend, and has been for the last like probably 5 years. The cauliflower crust, pizzas.
Big time though last year.
Right, last year. Mashed cauliflower, a bunch of different things. So it's easy to find cauliflower products. This one is marketed for making pizza crusts.
And it's the Green Giant brand. It's called cauliflower crumbles. But you can also get them frozen too. So if you think you might want to use it, would you suggest using the frozen ones?
You could, but anytime you freeze a vegetable, it breaks down the cells. Like the water expands, so it breaks down the cells, cellular structure of the plant or the vegetable. So it might be a little bit more watery. So you might want to like dry it out or squeeze it out before you work with it.
Like what you would do with frozen spinach. Sometimes you would squeeze
Same
that out too. Just because of that extra water. You don't want a soggy crust. And some of the things that we're going to be talking about is how you're going to avoid having that soggy cauliflower crust. Where if you have made this before and it didn't turn out just right, we're kind of going to show you.
We're going to do exactly what we did, because the first time we didn't make it,
it did not turn out right at all. We still ate it because we were very hungry, and that again was my lunch. But we're going to kind of show you that second step to crisping it up and getting the product that you want.
Correct. Alright, so like I said, for the cauliflower, you can just buy it in a bag. If you buy it frozen, probably squeeze it out. If you look at the difference, so I put this in a food processor compared to the bag. So this is what the bag is, a little bit larger. I feel if you had the pizza crust just with that, you would have those big chunks of cauliflower compared to what the food processor did, which is a lot smaller.
Yeah, you're dropping it all in our toppings.
It's okay, it's all going together, it's all going in the stomach, we're all going to eat it. Right, so we're alright.
Okay.
Alright, so what you're going to do is, what we're going to do is 2-hour cauliflower. We have 2 eggs, so 2 whole eggs. If you want to use egg whites, you can buy all.
Show us how you crack it with one hand.
Okay. So 1 egg.
This was my thing. I just wanted to learn how to crack an egg with one hand. Turns out it's a cool
therapeutic for her,
thing.
So it's good. So what we do is, you take the egg and you kind of crack it a little bit hard, a little bit firm on a flat surface.
A flat surface, not the corner.
I would always hit the corner. Correct. If you use the edge, it actually pushes the shell in, so when you crack it, the shell can fall out. So you actually could have more shells in whatever you're using. So you can use a flat surface, crack it, and then pull it apart with one hand, and then you're good.
And you look so cool.
Right, for whoever's in the kitchen with you.
Just me, just impressing me.
We have our salt and pepper blend. I typically use 2 parts salt to 1 part black pepper. You can add more black pepper, you can take it out, so whatever blend you want to use. I'm just going to use like a heavy pinch of salt and pepper. We have some reduced fat shredded mozzarella. We're going to add about a cup of this to it. Reduced fat shredded mozzarella.
Yeah, you said that already.
Skim mozzarella cheese. I would not use fat-free mozzarella.
It doesn't melt.
It's too plastic.
Right. It literally will feel like plastic. So the reduced fat will still melt, and we actually ask you to use that in most of your recipes. But when you try to go all fat-free, that's when things could be still separated, and you still want everything to kind of come together. So you need some of that fat to do that.
Right. So if you wanted to, you can use like egg whites or the egg beaters. If you want to cut calories a little bit by that, the protein in it from the egg white is going to help gel together, just like the protein in the mozzarella as well as the Parmesan. That's what is acting as a binder to keep this crust from falling apart.
You want me to stir that?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
The egg yolk is adding a little bit of fat and a little bit of creaminess to it, but you can obviously substitute without it and still probably have the same type of product.
It's my time.
So she's gonna stir it all up. It's just the mozzarella, the Parmesan, the egg, and the salt and pepper. So
I don't get a lot of time in front of the camera. No.
Where's the parchment at?
What do you need?
Parchment paper.
That's okay. While you look for it, you can look at my stirring techniques.
Talk about
I like to go in sometimes the clockwise, sometimes the counterclockwise. It's all the way up to you. And just you really mix. Where's your parchment paper?
Drawer.
In the drawer. So now that this is all stirred and combined,
yes, good.
it's pretty much just creating a patty with it.
Yeah, we're making like a vegetable patty or like a vegetable loaf.
Same thing.
Like a vegetable dough. So we have our pan. It's easier if you use like a sheet pan or something flat. But you can use a hotel pan and just line it with the parchment paper so it doesn't stick. We're not adding any fat to this. We want it to kind of dry out, and if you added fat, it'll probably crisp it up nicer. However, we're trying to cut calories, but we can still get it crispy by using a really hot oven, and we're going to use the pizza stone as well to kind of get that crispiness without the fat.
So if you don't want to use fat, the idea would be just to line whatever you have with parchment paper.
Correct.
And to get that same kind of crisp factor.
Correct.
Okay, so crisping lesson number 1. You can use parchment paper.
Correct.
All right, there you go.
All right,
What do you think about my job?
You did a great job.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make, to make smaller ones, we're going to kind of make like a little meatball, and then we want to flatten it out. And it's going to fall apart because the cheese has to melt and all the proteins have to congeal and they have to kind of stay together. So I like making like a little patty and then flap it onto the parchment, and then you're going to press it down to kind of like as thin as possible while it's still holding together, so you get like a nice
What do you say,
crisp.
like a 1/4 of an inch?
Yeah, 1/4 an inch, as thin as possible. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to kind of, I don't know, just.
The thinner the better, would you say?
Correct.
Okay, because again,
Because you want it crispy. You don't want it to be soggy and kind of like a soft.
yeah, we're not doing a thick crust pizza
No,
here.
not doing Chicago style cauliflower crust.
No, this is not deep dish
No,
cauliflower.
it's not gonna work out. So we're gonna do.
Maybe we'll do that next time for you.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna make these little form balls. We'll do a couple of them. We're gonna pop them in the oven. The oven's set at 500 degrees or 525.
It's just the hottest that
It's
your
the hottest
oven
I
will
can set
go?
it at, correct.
Okay.
We're gonna put it in there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Keep an eye on it. We'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. Josie, pop that in one.
I will.
The pizza stone. We have the pizza stone already in the oven. You don't want to put a pizza stone cold into a hot oven. It could actually crack it or fracture it, I believe.
Yes, you want to keep it always in.
So when you put the pizza stone in, put it in before you warm up the oven so it all comes up to temp together. So we haven't used the pizza stone yet, so we're going to see how it works out. So hopefully it comes out great. If not,
I thought he had, so I'm a little nervous about this.
it's okay.
Okay.
It's
He's
all
more
food.
fly by the seat of his pants.
Yeah, we're good, we're all right. All right, so we have the pizza in the oven. Our crust is in the oven.
And this is what they're going to look like when
This
they
is
come
what
out?
they will look like when they come out.
So we already kind of baked some off for you guys so you would know what they would look like. You know,
Try
it's
for time, yeah.
about like these small little round ones.
Correct. So if you're going to make a bigger one, say if you want to make like a big round pizza, obviously you don't want it bigger than your pizza stone because that's a fit on the pizza stone if you're using a pizza stone.
Oh, well, that's great advice. I'm so glad you told me not to just shove cauliflower in random places in my oven.
But yeah, if you make it longer, obviously it's going to take a little bit longer to cook. I'll probably reduce the temperature down depending, keep an eye on it because the middle of that crust might take a little while.
What we have a question. What was the second cheese that was added to the crust?
Sorry, that was a 1/4 cup of Parmesan. It was a reduced fat Parmesan. So we're trying to save calories. So we're getting protein from it.
So we had the mozzarella and the Parmesan that we added to the cauliflower with the 2 eggs to make the crust. We mixed it all around like the expert, and then we formed patties.
Yeah.
Patty
Squish
balls,
them out,
squish them out, put them in the oven 5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
Right.
This is the result.
Correct. So what we get is on the back. Sorry. Let's go together. Teamwork. Let's go, Cooper. All right. So
we can start assembling our pizza. And this is when you can just get creative with it yourself. What you like on your pizza would just be exactly what you would put on your cauliflower.
correct.
We're not doing tomato sauce though.
No, so good point. So we're not doing any tomato sauce or anything too wet because I'm afraid that if we put it like too many wet ingredients on the cauliflower, actually might make it dissolve and you have like this really soggy crust. If you can see in my hand, I have it. It's holding together. This is cauliflower and cheese. We're gonna put the toppings on and then put it in a pizza stone, get it nice and crispy, and melt the cheese and everything on top, and then we'll. So
it's a 2-step part for cauliflower pizza is what we're saying.
Correct.
We'll bake them first, then you put the toppings on, and then you just put it on your pizza stone again.
Correct.
It would kind of be like if you had gotten it from the store, you already buy the pre-baked crust.
The bowly crust or whatever you get. The bowlies, yeah.
The bibolies, you know what I'm saying? So we're making our cauliflower bibolies.
Same concept and same idea. You can actually make it ahead of time. I don't know how they would freeze, just because again you worry about that moisture kind of making it not crispy. But again, you probably dry it back out in the oven.
All right, let's focus on making these pizzas.
Let's focus on making these pizzas. All right, so what kind of pizza you want to make?
I kind of want something like fresher tasting, a little bit chicken.
Let's explain what we have here first. Let the people know.
Oh, well,
what are we doing?
I thought you were asking me. Never mind.
I was. All right, so we have some canned pineapple in water, so we cut calories instead of having it in heavy syrup. We have some lean Boar's Head Virginia ham, just because I like Boar's Head products. This is turkey pepperoni. If you can notice the difference between this pepperoni and regular pepperoni, you don't see all the white specks, so you don't see all the fat. So you're getting, I think it's like 70% less fat or 70% less calories, or 50% less calories, 70% less fat. So there you go.
All right, we'll just read the instructions.
There you go, right. So the taste, it tastes like pepperoni. Sometimes when you're cutting the fat out, it can change the texture up, so it kind of could be like a little...
I still think it tastes really good.
Right.
I like it. Well, we have some turkey bacon here.
Yeah, so what I like to do is cut these things up smaller and then like fry them up or get them nice and crispy so that when you put them on,
it's already how you want it.
Like turkey bacon. I'm not a big fan of like regular turkey bacon, like cooked, unless it's like chopped up and like crispy because it's kind of fuzzy.
And then we have some corn.
Okay. So what do you want to do? So we have corn, we have chicken. I took some chicken breast with some onion and some garlic and I sauteed it. I used a non-stick or non-stick pan to cut the calories.
Just our little bits of chicken that we can add on.
So it's salt and pepper. We're gonna toss out in some barbecue sauce and make like a barbecue pizza with chicken, barbecue sauce, turkey bacon, tomato, roasted red pepper. And then we're gonna make like a margarita pizza with the chopped tomatoes, or do some red onion, some fresh basil, and some garlic. And
if you have any ideas about what you want to make, you know, if you say like, can you make us that Hawaiian? We can do that too. Yeah. We're doing made to order because at the end of the day, I'm eating it and you can see what it looks like.
So let's start making it. So we're doing a margarita pizza. We do a tomato.
Let's do a margarita. So we'll have tomato. What's next? A little basil.
Over here. How do we get this so people can see?
Good. So our margarita pizza will have tomato, basil, and a little bit of mozzarella.
Okay. Yeah, tomato, basil, mozzarella, Parmesan. And I like to add like a little balsamic vinegar when it comes out, just to get a little acidity.
Okay.
Or you can make the tomato, basil, garlic together in a bowl and let it sit with some balsamic, some basil.
I'm gonna rip up some basil and put it on. I like my basil to be kind of like big pieces, so you get like a big mouthful of it. Tastes really fresh that way.
Add a little pinch of salt and pepper because the tomatoes aren't seasoned.
Oh, that looks pretty. Okay, and then we'll do a little bit of
Parmesan on there.
Oh, you took it out.
There you go. See?
Now, if you go very high with what you're sprinkling,
you get a nice even distribution if you go higher up. So always go for like 12 to 18 inches above your product, so you don't get like this little clump of salt that actually spreads out.
Okay, that's good. Perfect. And
it's
then
like a salt bay.
That's me, but it's like Parmesan bay. And then I'm gonna put some cheese bay. Cheese bake for you. Cheese bake for you right there. Put some little mozzarella. That looks really pretty. Very colorful.
Pineapple and what was that? Pineapple and some ham.
Now a lot of people hate the pineapple
yes, they
pizza.
do.
This is a very divisive pizza.
It is.
Where do you fall on the pizza?
I'm not a fan of it, but Mel likes it, so I eat it.
Yeah, so when your girlfriend likes that pizza, you like that pizza.
Yes.
I like it, actually. I think it's good.
Yeah, it's not big.
But a lot of people say it's sacrilege, so you just go with whatever keeps your household in peace.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to take two of these and put them in the pizza stone.
Are we ready for it?
Yeah, why not?
Our pizza stone?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put mine in first because that's the one I like the most.
Let's go with the...
You see that slide?
Yes.
Used to work at a pizzeria.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Ready?
Nice.
You gotta kind of go like that.
All right. So let them go.
These little tips and tricks are important. Please remember them.
Yes. So the pizza stone I put on the top shelf. That's because with the oven, heat rises, so it's gonna make like hopefully the crust on the top good. All right. I know. I'm sorry. I got big elbows. I'm big. So try to keep the pizza stone at the top. That way you get better heat.
Yeah, you get all that heat concentrated on top. Really, the important thing is making your oven as hot as possible. If you think about the pizzerias and stuff, and they have the wood-fired pizza, they get it as hot.
1,000 degrees oven.
Yeah, so the highest your oven will go is the best for
500,
pizzas. And you'll see sometimes they actually make those specific pizza makers too, and they go really hot. People say like, why can't I just use my oven? Because these little ones are made to go very high and really give you that crisp.
Correct. So I got some chicken and I put some barbecue sauce on it just to keep making different pizzas. If anybody has any questions about anything, let us know.
Okay, so I love barbecue chicken pizza.
Yes, so
I think this is a good
use
idea.
Sweet Baby Ray's, just because I like Sweet Baby Ray's. You don't have to use Sweet Baby Ray's. We're only using like a teaspoon of it. I think 2 tablespoons is like 70 calories. 2 tablespoons is 70 calories. We're using maybe 10 calories of it for the chicken.
Yeah, so use what you like for that because it's such a small amount.
Correct.
So we'll put that with, you want to put mozzarella as the base?
Mozzarella's the base. Let's do that. Have fun with it. Be creative. You know,
Yeah, this is you and your inner pizza making self.
Good.
Just a little.
All right, we're good.
Yeah.
Then we have some we have that chicken that we're gonna top it off with. And I do like barbecue chicken, whatever. If it's like a quiche or if it's like a pizza, I always do chicken with barbecue sauce, turkey bacon, red onion, tomato, and cheddar. So that's what we're gonna put on it.
And last time we talked about maybe doing like ideas for a dinner party. If you want to have something really casual, you could bake off all these cauliflower crusts and then make a pizza making station. As people go through that, especially having those personal pan pizzas,
Right.
you know, everyone can kind of assemble what you want. And then it's like really easy for the host because then you don't have to worry about
if they like it or not.
if they like it, because they made it. So you don't like it, you made it. It's not my problem. I don't host a lot of dinner parties. Sorry, that's probably why. Did I shove mine in?
Good.
Okay.
All right, we're getting there.
Our other one's
She's
cooking
going.
are in there too.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Keep
So
going.
things are melting away pretty well.
They are.
So you're making a complete meal on this pizza too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you are trying to watch your carbs, or like if you're a diabetic, you can have your protein, your carb, and a little bit of fat just in one meal. This is great for blood sugar control.
Right. So for like diabetics that are worried about like having too much carbohydrates at a meal, this is very, very low in carbohydrates.
You might actually be fine to add a little bit more carb if you want to have a side or something.
Yeah.
Not that you would need it. It's very filling.
It is. Vegetables and protein.
Mhm.
They're very filling.
Let's see. What else do you want to make? What
Let's
other
keep
combinations can we do? Well, we should do a
going.
meat lovers.
Yeah. So let's do what kind. We think alike. What can I tell you?
Yeah, I know. We've been
Nice.
working together way too long.
So we're doing
Yes.
pepperoni, we're doing ham, we're doing some of this chicken.
A little cheese in there.
This is also great if you have like kids or whatever and you want to do like pizza night at home and you have leftovers in the fridge at the end of the week and you want to use everything up. You can just get whatever you have in the fridge and throw it on top of the pizza, mix and match, and it's a great way to utilize things without wasting it.
Yeah, it's really good for kids to get involved in making food. And this is great for very young kids too.
Safe.
If you're worried about your kids not trying foods, involve them in making the food.
And they want to try it.
And then,
they made it.
yeah, because they made it.
Right.
They're a little bit more excited about it.
Right.
And that way they'll be more open to trying vegetables if you made it on a pizza.
Correct.
And covered it with cheese.
Right. Like, would you rather, if you're a kid, would you rather have steamed cauliflower or would you have like this pizza? Like, I'd rather have like a pizza.
Yeah. But my kid logic might be a little off.
You get a plate.
Oh yeah, let me get one.
Thanks.
Wait, we got a complaint that we don't have finer china.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. We had a lot of these plates, so.
We have this nice plastic one.
Oh yeah.
We're up there. Go from paper to plastic. So.
Oh, ooh.
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 Alright, so let it cool down a little bit because all the moisture in the cauliflower, let it kind of sit so it gets a little bit crispier. It'd actually be better if you had like a cooling rack, which we have one, so I'm going to do the rest of the pizzas on a cooling rack so that way that moisture doesn't go towards the bottom of it and make it a little bit soggy.
Yeah, that's important. You get one of those wire racks so that way as they sit and they wait to be eaten, keep them nice and crispy.
Get down in the basement.
What's that? Yeah, let me, I won't do my trick for you guys. I've been really practicing the boop.
Go to the basement.
Hold on, I'll get the wire rack in a second. Hold on a sec, my knees, I'm too old. I'm too old, no. Tell me if you thought it was good.
That's good? Okay.
Okay, it was easier when I was shorter. When I was a
It
kid,
was,
you didn't have much legs to try to hide. So we took some of these guys out of the oven.
These are ones we made, I guess what, like 5-10 minutes ago? I don't know how much time we have. Whatever. It's a little bit burnt or crispy on the outside, that's fine. You can cut it off.
You cut it off into your circle. So even if you feel like you didn't make the best circle when you first made that, know that you can actually just cut it and make it into a perfect little circle for yourself, because it's not like the pizza dough where you're going to cut it and you're going to see open dough. Everything is pretty much like uniform with the cauliflower.
Right.
Nice and steamy.
Yes. So you let these cool down. You see it's like really kind of moist. So these ones have been cooling, kind of let them set back up. So
don't be alarmed if you feel like your cauliflower looks
it's falling apart or anything.
It's pretty moist. It will cool off. So we want, and then it'll end up looking like that nice one that we started with. And then that last piece is where we crisp it up.
Yeah. So what we've been doing is flipping it around, putting the topping on the bottom piece, and then keeping the crispy part on the bottom, so it keeps it nice and crisp.
Oh, that's a good idea, to
It
flip it over and then put everything on top. These are like little tips
things
that you really need to know.
We got 5 minutes left. All right, so what do you want to talk about?
Well, what I want to do is see how our pizzas came out. So let me make a little bit more room and get out some of our fine china.
Oh, you didn't put this one in. You didn't finish this one.
Our meat
You're
lovers.
supposed to finish the meat lovers. What else do you want on it?
More meat. Layers of meat.
What else?
And then after I put this in, I want you to take out the other ones and put it on my fine china.
Okay.
My paper plates.
Yes, ma'am. Let me turn this.
And then we're gonna have a pizza party. Do you guys remember when you were little and you could do the personal pan pizzas from Pizza Hut?
Celeste pizzas. The little
No.
olive ones. Yeah.
If you read enough books, you can get the free personal pan pizza.
Yeah.
Josh didn't read as a kid, so this doesn't resonate with him, but it did for me. That's why he just threw out Mama Celeste, which no way.
Mama Celeste is great. It's like 500 calories. It's not filling. It's cheap. It's delicious.
And it ruins your health.
Yes. Alright, so we have this is the pineapple and ham pizza, white pizza with cheese. Our Hawaiian pizza.
This is the most divisive pizza of the bunch.
Right, correct. So,
and here it is, the humble Hawaiian.
That's too much. We did too much. Alright, so let's get this. Let's cut it up and see how the crust looks. Give me that one, actually.
Okay.
It's sat for a little bit, so we're saying Josie's going to try it. Because that's why she's here, to try everything. She's a guinea pig.
I'm the taste tester.
Josie?
Alright, so we got our personal pan pizza because I read 7 books this month.
It's crispy. No.
It's cheesy. Ooh, it is crispy. It's really good.
It holds a little bit.
You can even fold it if you know how to eat pizza correctly.
Like from New York or something like that, you gotta fold a pizza. You get Lorenzo's or something in Philly.
No, that you need to fold 5 times over. Yeah.
But they're not bad in calories, right? They're like Lorenzo's.
They're about 7,000.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chef?
Alright, go. I'm happy with it. Go.
You know, we'll tell you that they're good, but we want you to try them at home since you can't eat them through your phone.
So the cheese is like really crispy and nice on the bottom. So you get like the crust and it's not like a doughy pull like you get from like real pizza dough, but it's a nice healthy substitute for you that you can try with.
And the nice thing is I can have a couple different pizzas.
Yeah, and you can make a bunch of different things and use up all this product, and it could be, you can make it really, really creative. It's just think of it like a flatbread. Yeah. Or you can use like a flathouse, which I haven't seen anymore. Have you seen a flathouse?
No, that's for a different day.
Okay, that's for a different day.
Right, and we hope you try out some cauliflower pizzas. If you do, let us know how they turn out and what you tried. And if you like Hawaiian.
Yes, if you like pineapple, let's go. Let's go to the fruits.
Yeah.
It's good.